Welcome to the African History Network show right here on 910 a.m. the Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Thursday, September 2nd, 2021, and we are live. Hope everybody's doing well. It's been a very, very busy day, and we're coming up on Labor Day. So it's been hectic day covering these stories and getting ready to teach my online courses for this weekend also. All right, so on today's show, we got this breaking news story that came out earlier today. And it's an update in the Ahmaud Arbery case. Ahmaud Arbery was chased by three white men. Remember, back in 2020, I think that was 2020, and he was shot and killed in Georgia. Okay, and the story made national headlines. The prosecutor in the case, the original prosecutor in the case, has been indicted by a grand jury because the prosecutor is accused of helping shield suspects in the fatal shooting of Ahmaud Arbery. The prosecutor, the ex-prosecutor, Jackie Johnson, District Attorney Jackie Johnson, is accused of violating her oath of office and obstructing police after Ahmaud Arbery's death in February 2020. Okay, we're going to talk about this. This is a big development in the case. And also, there was another update in the case that came out a couple days ago. And this dealt with Ahmaud Arbery's background being able to be admitted in the trial. Okay, in the trial of the three men who are accused of killing him. There was an update from AtlantaBlackStar.com that I saw, and I saw some other outlets as well. Neither relevant nor admissible. Judge says defense attorneys for men charged in Ahmaud Arbery's death can't present evidence of his past legal troubles during trial. Okay, so this is an important development also, because oftentimes when you have an African-American victim, when you actually have an African-American victim, and we saw this with George Floyd, especially when there's white people or white police officers who are accused of killing the African-American person, they will try character assassination to justify killing them. Okay, as if they knew this person's whole history and their whole background when you killed them. So we'll talk about that as well. That's an important update also. This is a story from AtlantaBlackStar.com. Neither relevant nor admissible. Judge says defense attorneys for men charged in Ahmaud Arbery's death can't present evidence of his past legal troubles during trial. All right, so we'll discuss that. Then there was a story, I saw a number of articles dealing with this, and this deals with HBCUs. Over 20 HBCUs are using COVID-19 relief funds to wipe out student debt. Okay, over 20 HBCUs, historically black colleges and universities, are using COVID-19 relief funds that were in the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan that no Republicans voted for. The $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan is helping out people regardless of their race or regardless of their political affiliation, what have you. NBC News has an article dealing with this, and I saw one WOL. I saw a number of different stories dealing with this topic. It's a really, really good story, but this also ties into how elections have consequences. Number one, how elections have consequences. Number two, this also highlights the racial wealth disparities, median household wealth and things like this. And we know that African-American college students, African-American college graduates carry about $25,000 more dollars in debt, student loan debt, than white college graduates after this is after a bachelor's degree. They carry about $25,000 more dollars in debt. HBCUs clear student balances and cancel debt with federal funds. And one of the in the story, one of the main schools highlighted was Clark Atlanta University, but Howard University is doing this as well. It's a number of schools that are doing this, and they're giving their students a fresh start. Wilberforce in Ohio, Hampton University, Grambling State University. So over 20 HBCUs that are taking advantage of this. Now, the reason why these funds exist is because African Americans and Latinos and Asian Americans and some white people who had some sense went out and voted for Joe Biden in the 2020 presidential election and voted for Democrats to take control of the U.S. Senate. They have a slim majority in the Senate. It's a 50-50 majority, with Vice President Kamala Harris having a tie-breaking vote on bills that require 51 votes. Many of them require 60 votes. But if it wasn't for that, you wouldn't have these funds. So we're going to talk about this. This deals with how elections have consequences, and this ties into economics as well. Everybody talks about tangibles, but can't really tell you what that means and how to get it, things like this. This is an example of tangibles, okay? Wiping out student debt. This ties into economics. Black graduates owe an average, one of the things they talk about here in the study, and then this is connected to Black Women's Equal Pay Day as well, that we talked about in August last month, Black Women's Equal Pay Day. Black college graduates owe an average of $25,000 more in student loan debt than white college grads, and over 50% of Black borrowers say their net worth is less than what they owe on student loans. Their net worth is less than what they owe on student loans, meaning they owe more on student loans than their net worth is. So we'll discuss that as well. Now, there was a story from August 30th, 2021. Many people saw this. This was, I watched it take place live. Okay, I watched it take place live on MSNBC. It involves Shaquille Brewster. Okay, not Shaquille O'Neal. Okay, but Shaquille Brewster. Shaquille Brewster is a reporter, African-American reporter for MSNBC. Kind of young guy. He's a graduate of Howard University. Okay. And he was minding his own business, reporting about Hurricane Ida in Mississippi. He's minding his own business. And I saw it happen live. Okay. This crazy white man came up and started harassing Shaquille Brewster while he's doing his job reporting on Hurricane Ida. All right. And what happened was he got in his face and started berating him. And Shaquille he's holding his microphone. He's trying to maintain his composure. He's talking to Craig Melvin. Craig Melvin's back at the studio. And he's trying to maintain his composure. He said, Craig, I'm gonna hand it back over to you. We got crazies out here, like this guy right here. So the guy gets in Shaquille Brewster's face. And this is live, MSNBC. So the story goes viral. Roland Martin talked about it on Roland Martin Unfiltered. Numerous articles have been written about it. All you have to do is Google it. Okay. The story goes viral. You see the white guy in the back approaching. The first time he comes and he walks actually past Shaquille Brewster and he says something, and Shaquille moves over and they reset the shot. And then the guy comes back and gets right in his face. Well, this is an Ohio man. An arrest warrant was issued out for him. Okay, he has to be one of the dumbest criminals. Has to be one of the dumbest criminals because you did it live on cable news, and the story went viral. Okay, so he's a Ohio man named Benjamin Eugene Dagley. An arrest warrant was issued for him, okay, for the confrontation he had with Shaquille Brewster. An arrest warrant was issued for him, and he's been arrested. We're going to talk about that. He also has a criminal record as well. Imagine that. He's one of the dumbest criminals. I mean, you're going to do it while they're rolling. You're going to do it while they're broadcasting. I'm not sure who he voted for in the last presidential election. Well, I'm not sure if he can vote. I don't know. Maybe he can't vote, but I'm pretty sure he's a Trump supporter. I will bet my bottom dollar he's a Trump supporter. So we're going to talk about this. He got busted. America's dumbest criminals. Okay, put Benjamin in the Hall of Fame. Benjamin Eugene Dagley, put him in the Hall of Fame as one of the dumbest criminals. He is also suspected of a probation violation, authorities said. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about him. Yeah, we're gonna talk about him. Also, we'll do an update on the R. Kelly trial. There was a segment of make the case with Yodit Tawolde on the Black News Channel, where she talked to a African American female college professor about a law professor about the trial. Tiffany Jeffers. She talked to Tiffany Jeffers about the trial, and one of the things Tiffany Jeffers is a Georgetown University law school professor. But one of the things they talked about is the trauma of victims reliving the attack when they have to testify. And they talked about African-American women not being believed, when they testify also and in court, and especially situations like this. Okay, so we'll talk about that as well. All right, listen to the African History Network show right here on 9:10 a.m. the Superstation of Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. We'll be back in a few minutes.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest black-owned streaming television network in the world. Bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our stories, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30 plus channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
History Network show. We deal with current events in history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Unfortunately, many people confuse what racism is. Racism is a power structure. The laws and policies that put us in this predicament is going to be laws and policies that take us out. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the compass of his or her actions because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. We have it all on 910 AM Superstation. 910, the Superstation, Detroit's only African-American talk radio.
Welcome back to the African History Network show right here on 910 AM Superstation, the Future Radio. I'm your host, Brother Michael Imhotep. It is Thursday, September 2nd, 2021, and we are live. Calling numbers 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. 313-778-7600 is the call-in number if you have a question or comment. All right, now on the African History Network show, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world, because right now it's correct wrong behavior. What you do for yourself, what you do to yourself, and what you allow other people to do to you and get away with, based upon what you think about yourself. What you think about yourself is based upon what you have been taught about yourself. What you've been taught about yourself is based upon everything you've read, heard, and seen about yourself. So when you control the radius of a man or woman's thoughts, you can control the compass of his or her actions, because the mind can't do or teach what it doesn't know. Now, we deal with a number of different topics here on the African History Network show. We deal with current events in history and politics, education, economic empowerment, entrepreneurship, relationships, love, sex, health issues, and much, much more. Sign up for our email newsletter. Text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Also text the word Kemet, K-E-M-E-T, to 22828 to sign up for our email newsletter. Or visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, and sign up for the email newsletter there as well. Okay. And you can support the African History Network, $, the AHN show through Cash App, $, the AHN show through Cash App, and also through PayPal, paypal.me/the AHN show, paypal.me/the AHN show. All right. I want to jump into this first story here. This is dealing with Ahmaud Arbery, and it's update to the case. So I first got this story from the Washington Post. It was a breaking news story that came today from the Washington Post. Former prosecutor indicted. And let's pull this up here. All right. Former prosecutor indicted over Ahmaud Arbery case, accused of helping shield suspects in fatal shooting. Okay. Accused of helping shield suspects in fatal shooting. All right. Now, let's see here. Hold on. Okay. Let's get the right Chiron up here. All right, so when we look at this story, I remember all the details of the story back from February 2020, and as the details unfolded, and it was a crazy story. The local prosecutor didn't want to prosecute the case, and We remember the story. One of the alleged murderers is a former police officer as well, okay, who worked in the district attorney's office, okay. So there were allegations of preferential treatment. So if we look at this story here from the Washington Post, also the Associated Press picked up the story as well. A grand jury on Thursday indicted a former Georgia prosecutor over her handling of Ahmaud Arbery's over the handling of Ahmaud Arbery's fatal shooting on allegations she helped shield men now charged with murder in a case that went for months without arrest. Without arrest. Now, ex-Brunswick Judicial Circuit District Attorney Jackie Johnson, who is a white female, okay, ex-Brunswick Judicial Circuit District Attorney Jackie Johnson is accused of violating her oath of office and obstructing police after the African-American man's death in February of 2020. A viral video of white men chasing and shooting 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery. They also hit him with a vehicle as well. 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery drew comparisons to a lynching, okay, because that's what it was, sparking public demands for accountability and also accusations of a cover-up by local authorities. Now you're in Georgia. Okay, this sounded like some good old boys thought they were going to catch him and teach him a lesson or what have you, whatever they thought they were going to do. And they thought they were going to get away with it. Keep in mind, Georgia, and I've said this here on the show before, you know, I like going to Atlanta. I don't know other places in Georgia I don't want to go, but I like going to Atlanta. Keep in mind, Georgia has the largest Confederate monument in this country. It's called Stone Mountain. Georgia, a former Confederate state, one of those states that took up arms against the Union to maintain slavery. Georgia has the largest Confederate monument in the country called Stone. You have to understand the mentality of some people in Georgia, some white people in Georgia. And I'm not saying all white people are like this, but I think it applies here. Okay, I think it applies here because also there are reports that as Ahmaud lay dying on the ground, one of these good old boys called him an N-word as well. That was information that came out also. If you're not familiar with Stone Mountain in Georgia, and I've been to the top of Stone Mountain, check out this article here from SmithsonianMag.com, which your website is Smithsonian Institute. And this is called What Will Happen to Stone Mountain. Let's see, hold on, let's pull this up. What will happen to Stone Mountain, America's largest Confederate monument? What will happen to Stone Mountain, America's largest Confederate monument? The Georgia landmark is a testament to the enduring legacy of white supremacy. This is what is on the side of Stone Mountain. It's a huge mountain, and on the side are carvings of three Confederate, they were called Confederate heroes, but they're traitors. Confederate supporters, we call them Confederate heroes. General Robert E. Lee, Thomas Stonewall Jackson, and Jefferson Davis. Jefferson Davis was the president of the Confederacy. He was from Mississippi. And Jefferson Davis. Okay, this is what's there right now in Georgia. I'm not talking about what was there in 1877 or what was there in 1887 or 1897. Is there right now. Okay, in Georgia. The largest Confederate monument in this country. Then when you get to the top of Stone Mountain, there's a souvenir shop at the top of Stone Mountain. In the souvenir shop, on all of the keychains and pennants and mugs and glasses and all that stuff, on all of the memorabilia and merchandise are these three traitors to the Union. Is the carving, is the relief, the images of these three traitors to the Union. That's what's there right now in Stone Mountain. So you have to understand the mentality of some people in Georgia. Then also keep in mind, Georgia is where they passed Senate Bill S-202. Okay, the voter restriction bill, voter suppression bill, after Joe Biden won Georgia, and after Reverend Raphael Warnock and John Ossoff won the Senate seats and defeated the two Republicans. Okay, then Republicans come back with these voter restriction bills, Senate Bill 202, to suppress the vote. So all this is connected. All right, now let's go back. I want to go back to this article here. Let's pull this back up. Okay, so a viral video of white men chasing and shooting 25-year-old Ahmaud Arbery drew comparisons to a lynching, sparking public demands for accountability and also accusations of a cover-up by local authorities. Now, Ahmaud Arbery soon became a rallying cry in a massive racial justice movement ignited by the murder of George Floyd, which was May 25th, 2020, as protests sought justice in the high-profile killings of African Americans. All right, and then, you know, when the protests were taking place in the summer of 2020, they were talking about Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and George Floyd and others, but those are like three of the main ones. Okay, now what's taking place right now with the attack on critical race theory, and people talking about they don't want critical race theory taught in school, but critical race theory is not taught in K through 12 schools. And the attack on voting rights, attacking voting rights of African Americans and Latinos and things like this. This is all a backlash to the protests that were taking place all across the country, June 2020. This stuff is connected. It's not separate. No, this is directly. This is the backlash. The pendulum swung in this direction. Okay. With the protests and in various cities and various states, they're making changes to how law enforcement is done and things like this. And you have the George Floyd Justice and Policing Act trying to get passed. You have the Voting Rights Act, John Lewis Voting Rights Act trying to get passed. Okay, the backlash to all that was the attack on critical race theory, spearheaded by Donald Trump with his executive order in September 2020, banning very different types of diversity training for federal employees and things like this. That was the impetus of it. Okay, there was an article from NBCnews.com that breaks this down and shows how all this is connected. Okay, read this article. We've talked about this here on this show before. See, all this gossip BS and all this stuff, we don't deal with that on this show. We deal like real substance. Okay, when you can't deal with real substance, you got to deal with all that superfluous nonsense. How Trump ignited the fight over critical race theory in schools. All this is connected. See, as Dr. Francis Cress Welsing and Neely Fuller correctly taught us, if you do not understand European white supremacy and racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think that you understand will totally confuse you. If you do not understand European white supremacy and racism, what it is and how it works, everything else that you think that you understand will totally confuse you. Okay. All right. 313-778-7600 is the calling number if you have a question or comment. So if you go read this article here, how Trump ignited the fight over critical race theory in schools. Republican lawmakers across the country have proposed bills to ban critical race theory in K through 12 schools. Here's what that really means, because K through 12 is not taught. I mean, critical race theory is not taught in K through 12 schools. But this goes back to September 2020. I think it was September 2020. Yeah. The proposed policies. So if you look at this, conservative leaders have been accused of using the decades-old academic term critical race theory, initially intended to recognize the systemic racism inherent in American life. Conservatives have been accused of using the term critical race theory as a catch-all for anti-racism and diversity efforts. As a catch-all for anti-racism and diversity efforts. Basically, whatever it is they don't like dealing with, the teaching of systemic racism in school, trying to educate children on systemic racism, teaching them about slavery, teaching them about white supremacy, things like this. All that they just put that under the umbrella of critical race theory, because they don't want to deal with none of that stuff. Okay, and then many of them say systemic racism doesn't exist, etc. Now, the proposed policies mimic former President Donald Trump, the traitor-in-chief, Benedict Donald. They mimic his September 2020 memo ordering the Office of Management and Budget, to stop funding training on critical race theory for federal employees, calling it a quote-unquote propaganda effort. That's where the real fight started. September 2020. That's after the protests out in the streets for George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor and the Black Lives Matter protests, things like this. The fight over critical race theory, and this fake fight over critical race theory, is a backlash to the social justice movement. That's a backlash to the social justice movement. Around the same time, the traitor-in-chief, Benedict Donald, condemned the 1619 Project, a Pulitzer Prize-winning 2019 New York Times report, led by reporter Nicole Hannah-Jones, that holds that America was truly founded not in 1776, but in 1619, when the first enslaved people were brought to the colonies, even though the Spanish were taking Africans into the territory we call South Carolina and Georgia in 1526. Okay, that is 93 years before 1619. All right, and it's also true that African people were in this land going back at least 51,700 years ago, as we talked about here on this show numerous times. And the book from my friend, Dr. David Imhotep, The First Americans Were Africans, Documented Evidence, thoroughly documents that history. Okay, so you had that fake 1776 project that Donald Trump initiated. Now, when the educators embraced this message from the 1619 Project and began utilizing the project and looking for resources to teach a more holistic history of the country, Oh, but that's a problem. That's a problem when you really want to start telling the truth of the origins of this country. Okay? Because now you're letting the white supremacists cat out the bag. They want to keep it in the bag. Donald Trump rebuked the project as a warped, distorted portrayal of American history. Both the memo that he signed and this attack sparked the commission of the 1776 report, meant to combat the contents of the 1619 project. The countrywide uprisings in the wake of George Floyd's death only fueled the matter, with the pundits debating the nation's fraught history of racism. This whole fight over critical race theory, and then that critical race theory fight, then that leads to the big lie after Trump loses the 2020 presidential election. you have the big lie. The big lie gives way to the January 6th insurrection. The January 6th insurrection gives way to these 400 plus voter restriction bills being pushed in 49 state legislatures, okay, trying to suppress the votes of African Americans, Latinos, Asian Americans, younger white college students, all different types of things like this. All this is connected. Thus, although President Joe Biden reversed Donald Trump's initial ban in January, the seed had been planted. The seed had been planted. Okay, read the rest of this article here. All this is connected. How Trump ignited the fight over critical race theory in schools. Okay, that's from NBCnews.com. All right, now let's go back to this here. All right, so Ahmaud Arbery soon became a rallying cry in massive racial justice movement ignited by the murder of George Floyd as protests sought justice and high-profile killings of African Americans. Now, Thursday's indictment of former prosecutor Jackie Johnson showed Thursday's indictment of Jackie Johnson says that she showed, quote unquote, favor and affection to suspect Greg McMichael, who was previously an investigator in her office, and also failed to treat Ahmaud Arbery. They're alleging she also failed to treat Ahmaud Arbery and his family fairly and with dignity when she sought help from another district attorney, now also under investigation, who argued the shooting was justified before recusing himself. Oh, you think so? They were justified in chasing him down with guns, telling him to stop. He was under no obligation to stop. The law that they were trying to use for citizens arrest, all that applies to like retail, like at a retail store or something like that. He's jogging. They suspect that he was somebody who broke into a house that was under construction. They had no evidence of that. So I'm telling you right now, I'm not from Detroit. I'm not from Georgia. I'm from Detroit. If I'm jogging and three white men come chasing me with guns talking about stop, you think ain't no way in the hell I'm stopping? No. Now Jackie Johnson, former prosecutor, is also accused of obstructing law enforcement by directing that Greg McMichael's son, Travis McMichael, another one accused in the murder of George Floyd, Ahmaud Arbery, Travis McMichael, should not be arrested, quote, contrary to the laws of Georgia. Okay. Now, former prosecutor Jackie Johnson is also accused of obstructing law enforcement by directing that Greg McMichael's son, Travis McMichael, should not be arrested, quote, contrary to the laws of Georgia. Now, attorney Esley Merritt, who is an attorney for the family of Ahmaud Arbery, said, from my perspective, this is historic. Okay. And he said the criminal charges stand out among cases he has handled. These criminal charges stand out among cases he has handled. He said, quote, we rarely see, and I've never seen, accountability for a prosecutor who interfered in an investigation. We rarely see, and I've never seen, accountability for a prosecutor who has interfered in an investigation. Now, ex-Brunswick prosecutor Jackie Johnson, who voters voted out of office last fall because that's an elite position. And when you have rogue prosecutors like that, you can organize, vote them out of office. You don't have to keep taking that nonsense. She could not immediately be reached for comment. Imagine that. And it is not clear if she has an attorney. She has denied wrongdoing in Ahmaud Arbery's case. Now, violation of oath for a public officer is a felony carrying a sentence of 1 to 5 years in prison, while obstructing and hindering a law enforcement officer is a misdemeanor carrying a sentence of up to 12 months, according to Georgia Attorney General's office, which said it presented evidence to a Glenn County grand jury over multiple months. All right. Now, the McMichaels and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, and little Roddy, he held a press conference with his wife sitting next to him on the couch. And he said he was just a bystander. He ain't had nothing to do with that. You know, he was just walking by and, they were just chasing this guy. So I thought I'd just film it. He said, oh, no, but come to find out, you were involved in it, Roddy. You were involved in it. Maybe you have amnesia or something. I don't know. Now, the McMichaels and their neighbor, William Roddy Bryan, just 3 good old boys, never meaning no harm, beats all you ever saw get in trouble with the law since the day they were born. They are set to face trial on murder charges this fall. They also face federal hate crime charges, accused of racially profiling Ahmaud Arbery as he jogged through the Satilla Shores, a neighborhood of coastal Brunswick, Georgia. Prosecutors have portrayed the men as vigilantes, and William Roddy Bryan, who filmed the fatal confrontation on his cell phone, told investigators that Travis Michael used the N-word after shooting Ahmaud Arbery. As Ahmaud Arbery lay dying there on the ground, Travis Michael called him an N-word. Just some good old boys, never meaning no harm. Beats all you ever saw get in trouble with the law since the day they were born. A claim McMichael's lawyers deny. Now, the defendants argue they pursued Ahmaud Arbery in the belief he was behind break-ins and acted in self-defense, but there was white people who were on camera going into the house that was under construction that you said Ahmaud broke into. There's numerous white people who went in there to see what was going on. It's a house under construction. How many white people did you chase down? How many white people did you shoot? How many white people did you hit with your vehicles? I'm just curious. Now, video captured Ahmaud Arbery and Travis McMichael struggling before Arbery was shot. Arbery's mother, Wanda Cooper Jones, said in an interview Thursday evening that she had, quote, a happy moment for once when Georgia Attorney General Chris Carr called to tell her about the indictment. She said, I don't think he will get justice. I don't think we will get justice. I don't think we will get justice. Okay, so read the rest of this. She also wants the death penalty for these 3 as well. I can't say I blame her. You know, Robin Harris said, gotta go. I can't say I blame her. Read this article from the Washington Post. Former prosecutor indicted over Ahmaud Arbery case, accused of helping shield suspects in fatal shooting. Imagine that. Okay, then we had this story. Speaking of crazy people, we had this story out of Mississippi, of all places. I mean, Mississippi, same place we had 581 lynchings from 1882 to 1960, about 1968. 581 lynchings, 4,743 lynchings in the country from about 1882 to 1968. Mississippi had the most number of lynchings. So we all heard about this story about Shaquille Brewster, okay, reporter for MSNBC News. This is a good guy, Shaquille Brewster. I watch him all the time. We're going to go to this clip here. Shakita, I think it's clip 1. Shaquille Brewster. So he's out there minding his own business, doing his job for MSNBC, reporting on the hurricane. Okay. And this idiot comes up. This idiot actually drives up. Okay. You got to see this. This idiot actually drives up. He's in a white pickup truck. Okay, when you watch the video, you see the white pickup truck drive up. You see him get out on the driver's side, walks around the car. He starts walking towards Shaquille Brewster, who's there minding his own business, reporting on the hurricane. Okay, so he walks past him. As he's walking past him, he says something to him. All right, then Shaquille keeps going and he says, look, we're going to move over because you got crazies out here. Then he comes and gets up in Shaquille's face. All right, I want to go to this clip here. Let's go to clip one, Shaquille.
Shaquille Brewster, and I believe Shaq's in Mississippi. Shaq, what part of Mississippi are you in, and what are you seeing?
Gulfport. We're in Gulfport, Mississippi, Craig, and I'll tell you the biggest sign, the biggest indicator that I saw this morning about the force of the storm last night is that the mail delivery has returned. We saw postal workers going out delivering mail this morning. Just a couple of minutes ago, people were walking their dogs. They're back on the beach right now, and that's the sense that you're getting, that the rain has stopped, the wind is still going there. I think we even have a random person going around. I'm going to turn this way because, we deal with some people every once in a while. But, one thing that we are noticing is that the mayor said the curfew is still in effect. The curfew is going to be going on for at least until a period of time in which they can go ahead and go and survey all the damage. They did get some reports of some down power lines, of some trees that have fallen, or at least limbs that have fallen. So they're going to go ahead and do that survey to make sure that they're okay. Craig, I'm going to toss it back to you because we have a person who needs your help right now.
Hey. We're going to check in with Shaq Brewster just to make sure all is well. There's a lot of crazy out there, And Bill Cairns, thank you as well. Again, we'll make sure Shaq's okay. I do want to note here for a moment, you probably saw or heard a few moments ago, one of our correspondents was disrupted by some wacky guy during his live shot there in Mississippi. Please report that Shaquille Brewster is doing just fine. Shaq is okay.
All right, so that was from August 30th. Okay, MSNBC. Now this is live. I'm sitting there watching it live. I'm right here where I'm always am, and the TV's on right now. It's on MSNBC right now. It's just muted, and I'm watching it live. I'm like, wait a second. So then I go back and watch the video, and you can see the car. You can see the pickup truck pull up. Of course, he'd be driving a pickup truck. You see the pickup truck pull up. I don't know if he had snuff in his mouth. And you see him get out and walk toward Shaquille Brewster. Shaquille's minding his own business, okay? And then he walks past him, says something, then comes back and gets in his face. Well, they put out an arrest warrant for Benjamin. And then they arrested Benjamin. Benjamin's been arrested. Deadline.com. So NBC News, of course, has a story about this. But Deadline. So NBC News, the story from NBC News is arrest warrant issued for Ohio man. Let's pull this up here. Arrest warrant issued for Ohio man accused of confronting NBC's Shaquille Brewster on live TV. They put his name out there and everything. Benjamin. Okay. His name is we'll pull this up here. His name is Benjamin Eugene Dagley, is also suspected of a probation violation, authorities said. Oh, you think if he's on probation, you think he would be a good boy, but no, not Ben. No, he didn't want to do that. All right. So Mississippi police issued an arrest warrant Tuesday. Tuesday was August 31st for an Ohio man who they say confronted NBC News's Shaquille Brewster on live TV. Okay. He works for NBC News and MSNBC. The man, Benjamin Eugene Dagley, of Wooster, Ohio. Whoop, there it is. Wooster, Ohio. Wooster. I never heard of. I've been in Ohio. I ain't never heard of Wooster. Okay. He will be charged with 2 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disturbing the peace, and 1 count of violating an emergency curfew. Okay. He should be should have 1 count of being a total jackass also. They should have that on there too. But okay, this is what Gulfport police said in the statement. Okay, he'll be charged with 2 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disturbing the peace, and 1 count of violating an emergency curfew. All right, now those watching on our Facebook fan page, The African History Network, The African History Network, and our YouTube channel, Michael Imhotep, IMHOTEP. Keep watching. We're going to keep broadcasting for a few more minutes. We're out of time here on 910 AM Superstation WFDF. Visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. You can register for the classes I teach on Saturdays and Sundays, the online courses. Remember, right now is correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. Wakanda forever. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. All right, stand by, stand by. Okay, let's continue with this here. Okay, so yeah, visit our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. We have the information there for the online course I teach, from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. We do this on Saturdays. We have a class starting up Saturday, class number 1. It's a 10-week online course. And we deal with history from at the last year of the Civil War through 1968. Okay, Reconstruction, Jim Crow era, World War I, World War II, Civil Rights Movement, Black Power Movement. Visit AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Class is regularly $130, on sale $80. Okay, let's continue here. I want to go back to this story, and then we're going to deal with the. I want to deal quickly with the story dealing with HBCUs. We'll probably talk about this again tomorrow, with HBCUs canceling student debt. I'll be on Roland Martin Unfiltered on Friday. Okay, I'll be on Roland Martin Unfiltered Friday, and we'll share some of the topics from Roland Martin Unfiltered here on tomorrow's show. Okay, now, he could also be in violation, Benjamin Eugene Dagley of Wooster, Ohio. Whoop, there it is. He could also be in violation of his probation in Cuyahoga County, Ohio, if he traveled without authorization. Police said if he traveled without authorization. Now, Dagley had not been arrested by late Tuesday afternoon, and he could not be immediately reached at publicly listed telephone numbers. I don't think Dagley wants to talk to anybody. His ex-wife in Ohio declined comment. Court documents in Ohio showed the 54-year-old pleaded guilty to vandalism, inducing panic, and attempted assault stemming from a 2017 commercial break-in. Okay, he pleaded guilty. He's 54 years old. He pleaded guilty to vandalism, inducing panic, and attempted assault. Now, he was sentenced to 5 years probation and 30 days in jail to go along with a $5,000 fine and $10,000 restitution to Cleveland Plating. Okay, it sounds like a company, Cleveland Plating. Now, the business is an electroplating company that Benjamin Dagley once owned, according to a report by Cleveland.com. Now, Dagley was arrested on suspicion of drilling holes into tanks of dangerous chemicals. Okay, he was arrested on suspicion of drilling holes into tanks of dangerous chemicals. Okay, he doesn't sound like he's wrapped too tight. Representatives for Cleveland police and Cuyahoga County prosecutors could not be reached for comment Tuesday afternoon and Wednesday morning. All right. Now, the lawyer who represented Dagley in that case could not be immediately reached for comment on Wednesday morning. Okay, what I'm not sure what his attorney was doing. You know, I don't know. Maybe he's busy defending other idiots. I'm not sure. But anyway. So it wasn't immediately clear why Benjamin Dagley was in Gulfport, Mississippi, nearly 1,000 miles south of Wooster, Ohio, and in the middle of a major storm. Now, maybe his GPS was just going crazy, and he was just following his GPS, and it just took him in the wrong direction. It took him south, and it's an honest mistake. I mean, Happens to all of us. You end up going 1,000 miles away from home, and next thing you know, you're in Mississippi. You're supposed to be in Ohio. Next thing you know, you're in Mississippi. It happens to everybody. Now, Shaquille Brewster was doing a live MSNBC shot from Gulfport, Mississippi, reporting on Tropical Storm Ida in coastal Mississippi. When a man pulled up in a white pickup truck and sprinted toward him, the man got in Shaquille Brewster's face before Brewster calmly ended this report. The man could be heard shouting at Brewster to report accurately. Report accurately. Well, how you know he's not reporting accurately? He's reporting on a hurricane. See, that sounds like a dumbass Trump supporter. That's what that sounds like. Report accurately. You're gonna get in his face and yell at him, telling him to report accurately? How you know he's not reporting accurately? He's reporting on a hurricane. So Deadline.com has an update to this story. The police have arrested Benjamin. So this is why, people say defund the police. I'm like, no, don't defund all of them. You need some of them. You need to go get crazy ass people like this right here. This is why you need the police. Go get crazy dumbasses like him. Deadline.com had this story. I'm going to try to pull it up here. Where is that? Yeah, Deadline.com. Man identified in on-air MSNBC confrontation. Arrested in Ohio. Criminal charges filed. So I'm glad they kept rolling the video. If you're going to confront somebody, I'm glad you did it. I'm glad you did it on camera like that. If you're going to confront somebody, you're going to jump into somebody's face. I'm glad they kept the camera. Shout out to the cameraman. I don't know who the cameraman was. Shout out to the cameraman, kept rolling, right? Caught all of it. Let me see here. Hold on. Let's see. Let me pick this up from Deadline.com. Let's flip over to this here. Okay. Let's look at this. Can we have a conversation about reparations? We talk about reparations here. Now, when we deal with reparations, we deal with legal arguments for reparations. Most of this other stuff people are talking about, you're not going to get reparations going that way. If we're not talking about how to get 218 votes in the House of Representatives and 60 votes in the Senate, then when we talk about reparations, I really don't know what people are talking about. That's just to be honest. Because reparations is a legislative process. You need 218 votes in the House of Representatives, and you have 190 right now, and no Republicans in the House of Representatives support reparations. There's only Democrats, and you need 60 votes in the Senate. And if you have 50 Democrats, that means you need 10 Republicans. So whatever conversation you have around reparations should be around getting a bill passed through the House of Representatives and through the U.S. Senate. And America needs a massive history lesson because Americans are woefully ignorant of history. This is why you have these fights over critical race theory that's not even taught in K through 12 schools, because a lot of people don't want the history of slavery and white supremacy and that taught. So if they don't want the history taught, you think they're going to let reparations be paid out? No. See, the other side of the reparations argument is people don't talk about the lawsuits that are going to happen in court to block reparations if it even passes, which is not under the current conditions. They ain't, you couldn't even get 10 Republicans to vote for the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan. You think you're going to get 10 to vote for reparations? We have to understand the process to get this and the legal arguments, because most of these arguments people are making are not even legal arguments. All right, man identified in an on-air Mississippi confrontation, arrested in Ohio, criminal charges filed, update. They got a mugshot here. He takes a good mugshot. I got to hand it to Benjamin. Okay. U.S. Marshals arrested Benjamin Eugene Dagley on Thursday, September 2nd. They arrested him on Thursday at a shopping plaza in Dayton, Ohio, and the Gulfport Police Department in Mississippi has filed criminal charges against the man that says accosted MSNBC reporter Shaquille Brewster during an on-air live segment Monday. Dagley was charged by the Gulfport police with 2 counts of simple assault, 1 count of disturbing the peace, and 1 count of violating an emergency curfew. Simple assault typically involves minor injury or a limited threat of violence. Simple assault typically involves minor injury or a limited threat of violence. Now, the arrest was announced by U.S. Marshal Pete Elliott at Ohio's Wayne County Sheriff Travis Hutchinson and Ohio's Wayne County Sheriff Travis Hutchinson, who said in a press release that Dagley was arrested in the shopping plaza after authorities located his white pickup truck in the parking lot. Authorities located his white pickup truck in the parking lot. Now, Elliott said in a statement, quote, due to assistance provided by the Wayne County Sheriff's Office, our task force members were able to track the fugitive from Mississippi to his arrest location in Dayton. So he drove from Mississippi back to Dayton, Ohio. Apparently he drove. This violent fugitive was attempting to flee from his charges in Gulfport, Mississippi, but the swift work of our task force members resulted in a timely arrest. That's what I'm talking about. We need more police like that. Go after these crazy ass people. That's what we need police for. That's what I want. That's what I want right there. Now, Benjamin Dagley of Wooster, Ohio, also was wanted by the Cuyahoga County Sheriff's Department in Ohio for a probation violation. The suspect is believed to have violated his probation in Ohio by traveling to Mississippi, where he was caught on camera as he angrily approached NBC correspondent Shaquille Brewster. Now, see, you got to go watch the video. You got to go watch the video, because when you watch the video, you can see his pickup truck pull up over to the side of the road. You can see it coming to the camera frame, and he gets out, and he's a distance away. You see him back there. You see the pickup truck pull over to the side of the road. He gets out and he walks toward Shaquille Brewster. Shaquille wasn't bothering him at all. If he had just kept going, he'd be all right. But you wanted to be stupid. Okay. We got something for you. You wanted to be stupid. Okay. You're going to jump bad, all this stuff, jump in his face, all that. Okay. Bet he won't do that again. All right. You remember on the A-Team, Hannibal used to say, I love it when the plan comes together. This is a happy ending right here, man. You know, I like this. We need more stories like this. So, according to Gulfport police, the suspect on Monday was traveling in a Ford truck. It's a pickup truck, white pickup truck on Highway 90 during a citywide curfew caused by Hurricane Ida. After public assistance in identifying the man, police reviewed Benjamin Dagley's criminal history and contacted Ohio's Cuyahoga County Adult Probation Department regarding a potential violation of probation. One of the conditions of Dagley's probation is a travel restriction. I still want to know, what was he doing down in Mississippi? That's what I want to know. Now, Gulfport police, and he gets in his face Benjamin Dagley gets in Shaquille Brewster's face. Dagley's not wearing a face mask. I know you're outside, but still, you're going to come get in his face? You know, if you're going to be an idiot, at least be polite about it. Wear a face mask. There's COVID-19 going on. You're in Mississippi. Mississippi's a hot spot for COVID-19. If you're going to be an idiot about it, at least, you know, protect yourself. Now, Gulfport police said Tuesday that Benjamin Dagley was likely no longer on the Mississippi Gulf Coast and was traveling in a white 2016 Ford F-150 bearing Ohio license plate number PJR 1745. PJR 1745. The police asked anyone knowing of his whereabouts or spotting the truck to contact their local law enforcement agency. That's good police work right there. That's what I like. Those type of police we need right there. Go after idiots like this. All right. So read the rest of this. Rashida, they have a statement here by Rashida Jones, MSNBC president, African-American woman. Rashida Jones. Let's look at this statement. She's talking about Shaquille Brewster. Let's look at this. I don't know how people know it. How many people know of it? MSNBC, the president of MSNBC is an African-American woman, Rashida Jones. Rashida Jones, MSNBC president, later said in a statement, quote, Shaq Brewster is an exceptional journalist. Like the consummate professional, he did not let someone intimidate him from doing his job. We're glad he and the team are safe, and we couldn't be more proud and supportive of their work, end quote. So read the rest of this article here. Man identified in on-air MSNBC confrontation, arrested in Ohio, criminal charges filed. Okay, this is from September 2nd, 2021. All right, deadline.com. That's a great story right there. I love it when the plan comes together. All right. Let's see. I will be speaking. Let's see. Where will I be speaking? Coming up September 18th, the second annual Detroit, the second annual Detroit African Cultural Festival is taking place. Second annual Detroit Cultural Festival is taking place. This is taking place. Hold on. Why did that flip over? This is taking place on here in Detroit. Let me pull this back up. Something happened and the next flyer came up. Wait a second. Let's go to this. All right. So this is taking place here in Detroit. 12550 Avondale Street, Maharis Gentry Park. 12550 Avondale Street, Maharis Gentry Park. This is Friday, September 17th, Saturday, September 18th. Friday is going to be 12 noon to 6 p.m. and Saturday, 12 noon to 8 p.m. Okay. It's free and open to the public. It's a great African cultural festival, African drumming, African dance, They have master classes, African drumming, kids corner, wellness corner, vendors. The African History Network will be a vendor there on Saturday. I'll be speaking on Saturday also. They'll have food trucks, live musical performances. Follow them on Facebook. Follow them on Facebook at it's let me see, let's pull this up on Facebook. Detroit ACF on Facebook. Detroit African Cultural Festival, Detroit ACF on Facebook. Okay. and they have more details there. We're going to get this information up also on our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. Let me go over to that Facebook page just a second here. Right here on Facebook. So it's a free event. Detroit African Cultural Festival. Okay. The motto on the flyer is the Soke E. She's here in Detroit, daughter of Ahati Kalindi E and Jendai E. Very well known here in Detroit, and Kalindi is known around the world. Kalindi was a friend of mine, master of the African martial arts. We had him here on the African History Network show a number of times, going back to my Blog Talk Radio days. We had Kalindi and I, Brother Robert X, and Marduk Bell. We did lectures together. Okay, so we got that story. Now, lastly, let me squeeze in this story here. We're going to talk some more about this one, dealing with the HBCUs. We'll talk about that some more tomorrow. Let me just squeeze this in a little bit here. Dealing with the HBCUs. This is a great story also. Just a second here. All right. So you may have seen some stories dealing with HBCUs, and it's over 20 of them that are using COVID-19 funds from the federal government to clear student debt, to clear student loan debt, to clear fees, different things like this. This is a great story. HBCUs clear student balances and cancel debt with federal funds. Now, once again, this is an example of how elections have consequences, because these are funds from the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan, and the bill was written by Democrats, and no Republicans in the House of Representatives or the U.S. Senate voted for the bill. 212 Republicans in the House of Representatives voted no on the bill. I'm neither Democrat nor Republican, but sure as hell ain't stupid. I can see who consistently keeps voting against bills that we're for and policies we're for, and I can see who's writing the bills and who keeps consistently voting for policies and bills that we are for, and I keep seeing the ones who keep voting against the bills and policies we're for. The COVID-19 pandemic has disproportionately impacted the finances of many African Americans, including student loan borrowers, and we've talked about that here on this show before a number of times. African American college students owe an average of $25,000 more in student loan debt than white college grads, and over 50% of African American borrowers say their net worth is less than what they owe on student loans. Okay, over 50% of African American borrowers say their net worth is less than what they owe on student loans. Now, a number of historically black colleges and universities are stepping in to help alleviate the financial burden. With federal funding and private donations, these schools are wiping out current students' account balances, including tuition and fees, and giving them a fresh start. Now, Clark Atlanta University President George T. French Jr. said, we're committing $5 million, assisting nearly 2,000 students with account balances. He said the impetus, of course, was to help our students, and to make sure from a business, from a financial implication, posture, to make sure that we reduce our student debt so that they could matriculate and graduate. Now, Clark Atlanta University in Georgia has near 4,000 students in total, and it is one of the first HBCUs in the nation to use federal pandemic relief aid to clear balances for some of its students. They're using federal pandemic relief aid to clear balances for some of its students. Now, the school is not only canceling outstanding tuition balances, but they're also starting with the 2020 spring term through the current semester. Quote, if you have a dining or a residence hall balance, it will cover that, President French said. If you have a dining or a residence hall balance, it will cover that. So whatever balances that you have that would restrict you from coming to school, we are removing those restrictions. We are removing those restrictions. President George T. French of Clark Atlanta University said, we are reinventing the college experience so that our students can graduate nearly debt-free. We are reinventing the college experience so that our students can graduate nearly debt-free. Now, during the COVID-19 pandemic, federal stimulus funds have enabled the U.S. Department of Education to make significant investments in under-resourced colleges and universities through the Higher Education Emergency Relief Fund, including more than $2.6 billion to HBCUs, including more than $2.6 billion in HBCUs. And this largely comes from the $1.9 trillion American Rescue Plan that no Republicans voted for. Now, Autumn Epps is a 20-year-old junior at Clark Atlanta University, majoring in business administration. She says she and her fellow undergrads were stunned when they heard the school had wiped out their unpaid student balances thanks to federal stimulus money. Here's a picture of Autumn Epps. Okay, 20-year-old junior, Clark Atlanta University, majoring in business. She said, when I found out, hold on, what happened here? She said, when I found out, I was speechless. She said, when I found out, I was speechless. She's also a student government president. She said, we were all surprised. We were like, is this real? Is this happening? We were all just talking about how it was such a blessing. Now, Clark Atlanta University and other schools, including Ohio's Wilberforce, Hampton University in Virginia, and Louisiana's Grambling State University, have sparked a movement that is currently sweeping across the U.S. More than 20 historically Black colleges and universities, HBCUs, have cleared all or part of money owed for tuition and fees, and experts say that number could grow. And experts say that number could grow. Now, Rodriguez Murray is Senior Vice President for Public Policy and Government Affairs at the United Negro College Fund, because a mind is a terrible thing to waste. He said HBCUs provide these wraparound services, this culture of caring about their students, not just treating them like a number or bill payers. And because of that history and that culture, when the finances occurred from Congress in the coronavirus stimulus packages, that allow institutions the ability to pay off student debt and fees. When the finances occurred from Congress in the coronavirus stimulus packages that allow institutions the ability to pay off student debt and student fees, HBCUs stepped up to the plate. Okay. And we know the United Negro College Fund helps fund scholarships for African-American students. We know Lou Rawls for years hosted the telethon for the UNCF. A mind is a terrible thing to waste. United Negro College Fund. Quote, I wouldn't be surprised if more institutions choose to utilize this fund to positively impact their students because we're still in the grips of the pandemic. Okay, Rodriguez Murray said. Now, many HBCUs, including Clark Atlanta University, have seen an outpouring of support from private donors as well. President French, president of Clark Atlanta University, said along with other donations, his school received a $15 million gift from philanthropist Mackenzie Scott, the former wife of Amazon founder, Amazon.com founder Jeff Bezos, and a $1 million gift from Chan Zuckerberg, from the Chan Zuckerberg Initiative, a nonprofit organization owned by Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg and his wife Priscilla Chan. Yet it is the federal pandemic stimulus money that has directly impacted the majority of Clark Atlanta University students who have had their student loan debt canceled. The federal stimulus money. Federal pandemic stimulus money. Quote, I'm looking at all of these students who have no prior account balances and their heads are lifted and they're smiling as they began a new year, President French said. It makes me feel tremendously gratified on the inside. All right, so check out the rest of this story here. This is an example of how elections have consequences. This is an example of how politics is the legal distribution of scarce wealth, power, and resources, and the writing of laws, statutes, ordinances, amendments, and treaties, the adoption, interpretation, and enforcement. So all those dumbasses out there telling you don't vote and all this all nonsense, you playing right into the hand of Republicans who are trying to suppress your vote. Okay, and they're not supporting bills. You can't on the one hand say you want reparations, but then say don't vote. You can't on the one hand say you want police reform, but then say don't vote. You can't say you want student loan debts cleared and make college affordable and all this stuff, but then say don't vote. And if you've been following the moves from Secretary of Education Miguel Cardona, just in the past few months, they've discharged about $8 billion in debt. They just did 115,000 people last week. Week before that, it's about 300,000 people whose college debt they discharged. It was 115,000 people last week dealing with who were victims of ITT Tech, because they've been discharging the debt of a lot of people who were victimized by predatory colleges, for-profit colleges, predatory colleges. And we know that a lot of these for-profit colleges disproportionately targeted African Americans and Hispanics, African Americans and Latinos, and got them to take out exorbitant student loans. And then they go through the programs and things like this, and then don't get placed into jobs that have anything to do with their curriculum, with their degrees or credentials or anything like this. And they end up defaulting on student loan debt. If we look at this one here, this is from August 19th. CNBC. Education Department will cancel student debt for more than 320,000 borrowers. August 19th, 2021. CNBC.com. The U.S. Department of Education announced Thursday that it will cancel $5.8 billion in student debt for more than 320,000 borrowers. The debt forgiveness will go to borrowers with a total and permanent disability, and will automatically be granted using data already available to the Social Security Administration. Now, I don't know how many of this 320,000 are African Americans, but I do know that they're African Americans who are disabled, either permanently or partially disabled. And then when we're dealing with predatory colleges, that is something big that really hits us. The U.S. Department of Education announced Thursday it will cancel $3.2 billion in student debt for more than 320,000 borrowers. I may be granted. The Education Department said it also plans to stop asking these borrowers to continue sharing earnings data after they receive relief. Okay, read the rest of this one here. Okay, from CNBC.com. Then there was one from, let's see, which one was that? Okay, I think this is the same thing. 320,000. The average discharge loan amount is about 18,000. So far, the Biden administration has forgiven about $8.7 billion worth of student loan debt for roughly 455,000 borrowers. This is an article from Fox 2 Detroit, fox2detroit.com, a local news station here in Detroit. You can check this one out as well. Hold on, let's bring this up. Biden administration cancels another $5.8 billion in student loan debt. Here's who qualifies. Here's who qualifies. In total, the Biden administration has forgiven about $8.7 billion worth of student loan debt for roughly 450,000 borrowers. It's every other week they're coming out with another batch that they're discharging the debt for. So read that as well. All right, look. If you like this type of information, you can support the African History Network, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, $ the AHN Show through Cash App, also through PayPal, paypal.me / the AHN Show, paypal.me / the AHN Show. We're 6 days a week. It's a lot of work. This helps us keep doing the research, stay on the air, keep broadcasting, pay some of the bills, etc. This is our official Cash App account, $ the AHN Show, SHOW, $ the AHN Show, SHOW through Cash App. And when you go to it, it'll say Michael and show my picture there. These other ones are fake African History Network Cash App accounts. Okay, these are not me. All right, we'll do an update on R. Kelly trial tomorrow. We're out of time here. And I'm on Roland Martin Filtered on Friday, and we have to do our show here. I'm on Roland Show for 2 hours, and then we have to do our show here also. You can register for the 10-week online course that I teach on Saturdays from the Civil War to the Civil Rights Movement and Black Power, 1865 to 1968. Each class we go through and analyze about a 10-year period of history after, starting with the last year of the Civil War, to understand what happened to us after slavery ended. What were the laws and policies put in place to put us in the predicament we are today, and where do we go from here? So that's at our website, AfricanHistoryNetwork.com. On the homepage, click on register here, and it takes you to the next page, and just click on enroll. And as soon as you register for the course, you can start watching the content. We have class from last week. So we have some bonus content, and then we'll have class number 1 starting up. All right, so you can register for that. All right, we have to get out of here. Remember, the African History Network, we focus on educating, empowering, and inspiring people of African descent throughout the diaspora and around the world. Because right now it's correct wrong behavior. It's not over till we win. We're kind of forever. And we'll talk to you tomorrow. Peace. All right, thanks for watching.
Gain knowledge in minutes from insightful summaries of progressive and socially conscious books. Blacklisted gives you access to curated content that'll satisfy your curiosity to learn and understand different perspectives. Empower yourself through inspirational and actionable ideas. It's easy to read or listen to on the go. Blacklisted. Empower yourself. Start your free trial today.
Black on Purpose Television Network. Yes, Black on Purpose Television Network. All black, all positive, all the time. The largest black-owned streaming television network in the world. Bringing our people together worldwide. Controlling our messages, our stories, our way. Black TV the way it should be. Black music, Black history, and more. 30 plus channels, thousands of shows. Black on Purpose Television Network. Subscribe now.
Hi, I'm Joel Wilson, President and CEO of JCW Computer Consulting LLC, a technology implementation firm with over 20 years of satisfying customers. We offer a full spectrum of industry top-tier branded services. We are an authorized partner or reseller for Lenovo, Zoom, T-Mobile, Microsoft 365 and Surface tablets, Google Workspace, Acer, Asus, Samsung, PCmatic security software, and many more. Our online store features laptops, Chromebooks, computers, printers, accessories, and software. Businesses, take advantage of our free 1-hour Zoom tech consultation and know we offer top nationwide high-speed internet service providers, voice over IP, and cellular phone services. Home users, don't miss our current in-stock Chromebook inventory. Please visit us at jcwcc.com or call 215-879-6701.
We all know the cannabis industry is headed toward an uprise in the past decade. What happens when there is a brand that brings this uprise in a blow? The cannabis industry welcomes her uprise. Hustle her hemp. Delivering excellence with pride is her watchword, and how you choose to embrace it makes it a priority. From cultivating rich cannabis into exquisite and tastefully finished CBD products to delivery, Hustle Her Hemp leaves no stone unturned. Hustle Her Hemp's mission is to empower women of color by building business and creating legacies, uniting beauty, health, and business. We are a pure definition of how we want the CBD industry to become in the future. While we are redefining innovation, we bring the same energy to improving the quality